Hey gamers, welcome back to a brand new DSP video. Before we get into the meat of the video, I do want to make one announcement. Guys, everyone's favorite instrument got new batteries. That's right, finally, everyone's been wondering when this thing was going to return. It has now returned, it got batteries, it's coming back to all my videos. You're welcome, everyone, you're welcome. Anyways, let's talk about the main reason I'm making the video, which is DSP did a Five Nights at Freddy's marathon on Monday, then Tuesday couldn't do the podcast for whatever reason, and surprisingly did not bag as much and uh, was acting really weird, like he was hesitant or whatever. Now I didn't watch the stream, so I don't know much, but I've seen some clips here and there. I've seen people talk about the streams in a lot of ways, and as much as I understand how fun it is to speculate about what could be going on behind the scenes, because DSP doesn't make it hard to not speculate. He doesn't make it hard at all because he always says there's something going on behind the scenes, and he said this for a week basically. Now, let's talk about the big one. Everything that everyone's been talking about, the big thing, the elephant in the room. It is not a pregnancy announcement. Fat cat. Are they gonna get a divorce? Are they getting a divorce? I don't think so. As I said many times in the past, the only way I'd ever agree or whatever would be DSP throwing it under the bus. No one is safe from being thrown under the bus with DSP. Everyone that has broken off from him has, in one way or another, been greeted by the bus. Because he still defends her, he still protects her from her trolls. He still uses her as a shield to shield himself from any criticism or any nonsense, basically. So I can't sit there and say that they're divorced. I understand why people are coming to that conclusion, but he has done this kind of behavior with Kat before, and she was still living there because she showed up on stream in 2018. Then 2019 through 2024, she has been MIA. We have not seen her, to the point where people are joking about her being in DSP's refrigerator, basically. But she was still living there. It was just that she wasn't showing up on stream, and I think that's what they're going to be continuing from now on. She's not going to be involved in his streams anymore because of a lot of reasons. I kind of wanted to do a video because I think he talked about that in a chill stream in the past, and that kind of made me want to do a video discussing that. But anyways, it's very obvious that he's just gonna have her just be in the background, and because I don't think she wants to be on his streams in any real way. I think the only reason why she showed up, even in 2024, was kind of what everyone was expecting about the Mike Klum documentary. But I also think it's just to head off any potential nonsense. Because, he probably saw that Mike Klum was on It's a Gundam, and he probably was, concerned, hey, the trolls are gonna start, hammering in on Mike Klum and trying to get stuff out of him. I think I should show Cat off before Mike Klum could possibly be lured into doing detractor content or whatever, I guess. I mean, it could have been many, many reasons, but I think Mike Klum was definitely a proponent of getting him to show Cat off. Because then she went away, and they didn't really have a adequate explanation. It was always just, oh, she had a stomach ache. Oh, she just isn't feeling bad. Which, I said this before. Why not just say she doesn't want to be part of the streams? Why come up with wild stories as to why she can't show up? But anyways, this is getting derailed. I don't think they're getting a divorce. I see why people are thinking that, but I just don't see it. Once she gets thrown under the bus, that's when I'm like, okay, they got divorced. No one leaves the pig pen unscathed. No one. So I don't think they're divorced. As far as our relationship's concerned, I would probably say, if I was a betting man, they're probably seeking marriage counseling or therapy or whatever. or one of them is getting therapy and DSP has to drive her to therapy, I guess, or whatever, or that he's going to therapy. I think therapy could be a proponent. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting therapy. I don't want like to come off as, oh wow, these people are getting therapy. Pfft. I mean, it's there for a reason, but it would be an insight as to kind of their relationship. It would explain also why they're very cold and distant to each other, even like when they were doing the IRL streams and this and that, because it doesn't feel like that they're even like they even talk to each other. Even by his own admission, like he doesn't watch movies with her. He watches movies on his phone, and I think that's how he's even watching the WWE stuff on his phone. They only watch like reality TV shows. Then he just goes on his phone the whole time. Like it's very weird. It's this behavior you wouldn't expect from a married couple. Like I'm not saying that, and it's just bizarre too. That it's funny when they were first like dating and they moved in and this and that. Like, I was saying, like, look, DSP does not need to be like attached to her hip. Like he doesn't have to be like hovering over her all the time. But this also seems like too distant. Like it's really like it's kind of emblematic of DSP being a guy who talks about gray areas, no absolutes, Mr. Moderation, but he does things in very absolute extreme ways. It's either overcorrecting something or I guess overcorrecting is just the word to use, but it's just funny that like, it's like, okay, you're being a little too like hovering over her. Now it's like, do you even like sit in the same room with her? Like it's very bizarre about it. And then just kind of how he explains their routines together. It's just it's really weird, and it kind of, I also don't want to sound like, this may sound mean, and I don't want to sound mean or anything, but I kind of want to be, some people had brought up that I think they said that cat might be autistic or she may have Asperger's, whatever. Through all those like documents that were leaked or whatever, years ago, and a part of me wonders, did DSP did because I don't think she would tell anyone that she has that condition, and I wonder if DSP knew or recognized that she may have that condition, like, and if he didn't, I wonder if he just now kind of realized, she like, I'm gonna use Arrested Development as an example. It's a perfect show. It like really signifies a lot of things, right? There's an episode in season 3 where Michael Bluth finds this woman Rita, and he's like, oh, she's so cute, and she's like this and that, and he starts dating her. He wants to get married with her, unbeknownst to him that she's actually a bit slow. He did not understand what MRF meant. She thought that it was just Mr. F. He didn't know what it actually stood for. So, it came to the point where his son told him, Dad, I think I think, look at this. She's eating the fake fruit. Like, well, it looks very convincing. Yeah, but then she went back in to eat more, and then he was like, oh, like, I wonder if he had a revelation like that, like, he saw something that she did, and he was like, well, I already married her. Because I also wonder if DSP is the kind of guy that believes in divorce, because a lot of people, like, I see a lot of people say, like, no one should get divorced. You stay in the relationship till the bitter end, whatever, try to make it work, whatever. But I also think that, like, if the marriage is causing you to be miserable, I think you should be divorced. You should not force yourself to be miserable just for the sake of not getting a divorce. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? But I wonder if DC is one of those people that don't believe in it, or that he doesn't want to get divorced because he wants to make things work, despite that it may be better off for him to get one. Who knows? But I wonder if he's one of those people. I don't think he's getting a divorce. I don't think that's the case. Again, she's not under the bus yet, so I don't think that's gonna happen. And also, if he realizes that she may be autistic or whatever, that may also make him not want to get a divorce because he's like, well, that's going to be awkward, and that may not be, like it kind of makes things a little bit more difficult, uh, in that way as well. But again, this is all like speculative, and it's and I just don't think they're getting a divorce. I just don't think so. At the very least, they're probably seeking therapy or counseling or whatever. I just can't see them being divorced. So I don't think that's the case. Uh, then a lot of people were talking about like YouTube slapped him on the wrist and this and that. I don't think that that could have been the case, but maybe not, because again, what did he do? Like, he does a lot of things that are shady, to be fair, but you know he's said stuff similar in the past on YouTube and he never got called out. I think at the end of the day, in my opinion, what it is because I kind of seen this behavior before, if you think about it. Back when we had the vest streak, there was a period of time where he didn't beg a lot. He even bragged about how he didn't beg, or, well, I made a lot of money, so I didn't want to, like, keep talking about support or this and that, or, whatever. And I wonder if he made a lot of money, because I understand that people say, well, he made a lot of money and he'd still beg the next day about hitting the goals. And I get that. But compare the amount of money he got, I guess, to what he got Monday, because I kind of wonder, because you also have to take into account he gets ad revenue as well. I wonder if he saw the amount of money he made on YouTube and realized it hit a certain number that he was like, that was like a golden number for him. That was like, this is insanely good. I can't possibly beg tomorrow. Like, he might have gotten enough money for that, because he got a lot of money from Mike and Ken, Kim, whatever, uh, through super chats. So I wonder if it was like they gave him to a certain YouTube number that made him like, okay, this is too good. I can't beg. Like, because the other marathons, he made like what, near 1,000. Like, he made decent, sure, but this is the one goal, the one stream, the one marathon that he made a lot of money through tips, through everything. So I wonder if he got like a certain number that made him sit there and say, I don't need a beg. This is perfect. I got the number I've been looking for. I do think at this point we would have to see how the rest of the week goes. If he goes back to his begging ways today, tomorrow, whatever, we'll see what happens. And then a lot of people brought up Kino Casino. I'm gonna be very honest. I don't think that stream that PvP was making fun of DSP meant anything. Because again, he's still doing Smart Guys Thursday night. The only way, again, just like the divorce thing, once Smart Guys is removed and DSP says it's canceled and he doesn't want to do it anymore, and he stops talking about Kino Casino and slowly starts throwing them under the bus in snide ways, is when I will start to believe that. Because it's very clear to me that for DSP to feel that Kino Casino is snaking him or whatever, is they have to be they have to tell him to his face, basically. Like, they have to treat him like a fucking baby that fell down like a series of stairs and then drank bleach for like 10 years. Because there's no way that he's realizing that they're just using him for content, that he's basically their bitch. Because again, we have segments where he says that, yeah, man, they gave me attention, so like, if they harass me, it is what it is. They got me where I am, man. Just saying stuff that's like very like demeaning to him, right? Like, I've never seen anyone who's gotten some kind of like boost and then roll on their back for the person that gave them a boost. Like, I've never seen that. A lot of people are very thankful. Being thankful is one thing, but no one rolls over for that. Like, I can be thankful for people who have like supported me, but I'm not gonna be like, okay, guys, I'll let you. I'll give you my bank account number. I'll let you make fun of me. I'll let you write with permanent marker all over my face. Like, nothing like that. But DSP is willing to roll over for PPP and Andy because they gave him clout. It does enough clout to get a new surplus of whales. I also think the other reason why he's been very hesitant, I think, uh, it, and this is very stupid. You gotta bear with me on this. He started it. I think he must have noticed that these people who were giving him all that money are crypto people. That these are people who've done crypto stuff. They've had YouTube channels and they've been scrubbing that stuff apparently. But these are people who are all invested with crypto, and I think in a very stupid way, DSP thinks that's gonna affect the amount of money, and he's slowly kind of like afraid, he thinks he's sitting on like money that's gonna disappear and gonna be pulled right under him, like because you've seen all these like these scams through crypto, and people are saying like, oh, it's like a rug pull, like, oh, these people bought into crypto, and look, it's tanked now, it's a pump and dump or whatever, like the Hawk Tua, all these like crypto nonsense that been going on, and I wouldn't be surprised if DSP is so dumb he thinks because the money that he got through super chats came from crypto supposedly, or theoretically came from crypto, that he thinks that's gonna go away, as if like the crypto market will dictate the super chat, which I don't know, but again, DSP is very dumb. He's very dumb. So sometimes the explanation is the dumbest one with him. So I think at the end of the day, it's either that or the he made a phantom number that made him like, I don't need to beg. I don't need to beg. The other thing it could very well be, because DSP has done this in the past as well, he will suddenly just drop begging, and then after a while will then come out and say, guys, I didn't beg, and look at the amount of money. I mean, I did an experiment. See, you guys love when I beg. You guys, if I didn't beg, you guys wouldn't be hitting goals. Like, I wouldn't be surprised for that to be the case. So I think it's one of those three things. Because the other stuff, I just think it's a little too I don't want to say nefarious, but it just seems unlikely, because I can't see him getting a divorce and not throwing Kat under the bus and still willing to defend her, because he would see that as a slight. And I don't think he would be the one to divorce. I don't think he'd be the one to put that in motion. If anything, Kat would be the one to say, I want a divorce, Phil. But I just don't think that's going to be the case. Again, DSP is desperate for a caretaker. Desperate for a caretaker. So I don't think that's the case. I don't think it has to do with Kino Casino, because again, he's still doing Smart Guys on Thursday. Once he's done with that, then it's like, okay, he's done with them, but he's still doing Smart Guys. And again, like, the one clip where he was like, oh, fat cat, this, that, he did say, oh, I'm sorry, Phil, we love you. Like, that was just enough for dude to be like, oh, they're just harassing me, guys. So I don't think it's that either. I just don't think it's gonna be anything that is gonna come forward with anything. And then people will bring up the behind the scenes stuff, which really could be many things. It could be therapy, could be doctor appointments. Maybe he had to do something. Maybe Kat had to do something, and he had to like facilitate that. Who knows? I mean, it could also very, very much be taxes. Again, it's I said this a few times in the past. It's very funny to me when he got put on the back taxes payment plan, whatever. He mentioned that $17,000. What happened to that, right? So is that coming back? Is that coming up to bite him in the ass? Was there another thing he didn't pay? Like, it's okay. I think it's just the leaves. I'm hearing a lot of noise, bullshit. But I think I just think it's either tax. It could be taxes too, but I think as far as the behavior is concerned, I think it's just he might be concerned with the super chats that he got from Mike and Kim, because this is also because these people were also very, very weird. They were like, oh, you went on this one account, then you went to this other one to say that you were on the wrong account, and he said the right thing on the other account. And these people like doxed the account, the person basically, or just pointed out that he had a sock account. And that could also play a factor. Like, he could be thinking in the back of his head, oh shit, did I like make that wheel and not want to come back? Is he not going to come back? Oh my god. Oh no. Like, so there's all these things at play because DSP at the end of the day is a very paranoid person. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if he thinks for some weird way that the crypto market will affect his super chats. I don't know. I kind of feel DSP would believe that. Uh, but anyways, that is it for my opinion as to what was going on Tuesday. We will see. Today's Wednesday, and he's not live yet. But when he will go live, we may have a little window as to what happened because he's gonna talk about the Five Nights at Freddy's marathon that he did. Which, I'm gonna throw this in this video, so why not? Fuck it. I think that Five Nights at Freddy's marathon was a bullshit attempt to get another Minecraft moment because for years he's been saying, oh, I see, like, I grew up, like, look at me in Minecraft. I said that it sucked, and now I love it. And I think he wanted that to happen again with Five Nights at Freddy's, where he'd given it a fair... Because the thing that was weird to me about Five Nights at Freddy's marathon that he did was he said in the podcast, I'm gonna actually give it a fair shake now. Which then to me makes me question the other times you play the game, right? So if you're now giving this game series a fair shake, so were you just playing these games in the past wanting to hate it, which implies he did not give it a fair shake. So I guess it would take Stellar Blade to make 5 sequels. There need to be 5 Stellar Blades for him to then do a Stellar Blade Torture-thon, and then he may actually give it a fair chance. I guess that's what needs to happen. Because right now, Stellar Blade is one game, and and fuck that. It may not even get a sequel, stupid. So I guess it needs to have 5 games, and it needs enough viral publicity that he will then decide to give it another fair shake. Because it was just weird, right? He goes on that podcast and say, "Oh, I'm gonna give it a fair shake for once, guys." So it's like it tells me he played him all these years with the intention of not giving it a fair chance. Bold statement, in my opinion. Then he does that retrospective part at the end, which is funny because he's gonna do it again on the podcast. But in that he's like, well, you see, I actually liked one. I liked this, and you know what? I didn't think it was as bad as I thought it was. And it's like, so now we have Minecraft and Five Nights at Freddy's gonna be the 2 go-to examples of DSP waking up and realizing that these games are not as bad, and he grew up as a gamer, which is like bullshit because you gave these games a fair shake, presumably, because you told us for years, I give games a fair shot. And then you tell us for this marathon, you're now going to give it a fair shot, which, it's funny to me. He hypes up this Torture-thon as a torture event that he was going to hate it, but he wanted to give it a fair shake, and he wanted to have a positive outlook. You're doing a Torture-thon, my guy. Like, it's funny. I know I keep bringing up Mega 64's the room stream they did with Rocco for like a week, but it's a very good example of this. Because Rocco went on in that stream saying this is misery, this is torture, this that, and then like he felt so relieved when he was able to leave, and he was like he said that there were aspects of the room he liked, but it was also like grating on him. And all that, so it was overall like a grading experience, which makes sense when you saw how that stream played out. But DSP did a Torture-thon and then wanting to love it, and then it was like, oh, it's not as bad. So like it was just not what was advertised. It's the same conundrum with pitching a Rage-a-thon. I feel any other content creator would do it would actually deliver a Rage-a-thon correctly. DSP cannot market Rage. People voted Street Fighter V for one Rage-a-thon years ago, and presumably he would pick any character. He picks Ryu, a character he feels comfortable with, and played very safe so he could win. Does that, and I think he even played I want to say he played casuals too in the Rageathon. So it's like you're doing a very controlled instance of playing Street Fighter 5, trying to make sure you win. Like that's not really a Rageathon, basically, and it's just a lot of like things like that. And the Five Nights at Freddy's kind of fell into that kind of conundrum where it's like you're selling a torture-thon, but then when it came to be the torture-thon, you just wanted to chill and drink and then just like play these games and enjoy them. Like that's not a torture-thon. Uh because it was off of the assumption that he hates these games and he would hate playing them, but he ended up playing them and enjoying some of them. And it's also like annoying. He mocks Markiplier for overacting and being a muppet, but there were all these instances where he was hamming it up. Like there was like, oh, he was like laughing into a cry, like a muppet. Like he did the shit, right? He did that fucking bullshit, and it's like that's not being a clown. Like, and this is what I also like. I said this all the time, and I always feel like I come back to this all the time because it's like the perfect thing to bitch about. DSP talks about how back then he was trying to please a teen audience, groom teenagers with sex jokes and this and that, but when he was doing that, he at least was talking like a person and was coherent. He didn't do like sound effect. He didn't do like baby noises. Basically, he did sometimes. Sure, to be fair, but when you look at him now, he's really just a baby maker. A baby maker. Oh my god. Baby noise maker, a sound box, basically, like a Looney Tunes character. He's exactly what he complains about because he does like these big facial expressions. He does zoom ins. He does like look at that one clip about Stalker 2, about how he really loves Stalker 2, and it's like that's not being a cartoon. That's not being a Muppet. Like I'm always tempted to open up iMovie. Yeah, I have iMovie. Fucking, it's a free app for Apple. Okay, come on, and just play the clip from what's it called? From the DC Reacts video, the DC vs. the Internet, where he's like, "I'm not a Muppet. I don't do this," and then just juxtapose that with him doing all these Muppet ass shit, and I'm always tempted to do that all the time. And I kind of want to force myself to do it one day, and I may do it, and I'm gonna pin it everywhere. But this guy is literally a Looney Tunes character. That's all he does. And so where does he come off? Shitting on Markiplier for screaming into the mic, being like, "Oh my god, is that the bite from 1988?" Whatever the fuck he said. Complain about that. Meanwhile, usually the zoom is just does this the whole time like a fucking clown, and he's telling us that he makes mature content now. I mean, maybe for cat style people, sure, but not for people who are not cat style. So it's just ridiculous. This is an interesting video. I combined two topics into one. I'm a pro, I guess, at this. But that's it for this video. I'm glad I talked about the Five Nights at Freddy's thing, and then I talked about the odd behavior on Tuesday. But we'll see what happens today when he does this podcast. Maybe we'll have more of an insight, and maybe I'll eat my words. But I kind of don't think it's anything about like divorce or him realizing Kino Casino are using him as a jester or anything like that. I think he's willing to take it if it means that he has a new whale farm to milk from. So that's how I feel about that. I don't think he's divorced because Kat's not under the bus yet. Once she's under that bus, that's when the divorce is gonna hit. But she's not there yet. So once she gets there, that's when I'm on board. But she's not there yet. She's still being used as a prop. As I said, like he used her as a prop, if anything. So there's really no benefit for him. Like there really has to be. It's so funny. There has to be a benefit for him to get a divorce, for him to even get one. Or she has to force his hand. Basically, she has to be the one to initiate the divorce, which I don't see her doing that either. Because again, like if Dee's be so tight for money, I think she would have left a long time ago. I think he's making just enough to live in that fucking comfy house, that cushy little house in the gated community. I don't know, whatever. Uh, it is what it is. Thank you for watching this long-winded video, and I'll play you a song from the Automaton. We're gonna do this on the low. There's high, mid, and low. I'm not doing high. High will kill you, so I'm doing low. Alright, there you go. Thank you for watching. See ya next time.